Hello, and welcome to episode 8 of the Marketing on Purpose show. And I am so happy to be with you today. I didn't know if I was going to make it. My son had an orthodontist appointment this morning, and it took an hour and a half, and usually it takes like 5 minutes. And so I was like coming home, and I live about 20 minutes from there, and we got behind this like massive truck, and he was going 27 in a 60 zone, and I was like, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it. But I'm here, and I am here talking about one of my all-time favorite subjects, brand strategy. So welcome to the show. Today I'm going to give you 5 reasons why small businesses really need to embrace this idea of creating a real brand strategy for their businesses. And then I also have 3 mistakes that I've seen small businesses make with regards to their brand strategies and the expectations that they had of those strategies. So I'm very excited to be here. I have, through my company, Marketing on Purpose, been working with small businesses for almost 2 years now. I'm helping them to create brand strategies that will help them stand out in the market and give them some clarity, right? So hi guys, hi Lisa and Catherine. So first of all, let's talk about what is a brand strategy, because some people are confused about exactly what that means. So let's get that out of the way right now. I see that Catherine and Lisa are watching as we speak live, and that's the beauty of these shows on Headspace TV, is that we want to get some interaction. So if you guys want to show me what you've learned in Bootcamp, what is a brand strategy? Let's first talk about that. What is a brand strategy? So take a second and write it in the comments if you know. And let me just tell you. So first of all, a brand strategy is not your logo. It is not your website. It is not your company name. It is not a sign. It is not your Facebook page. A brand strategy is none of those. Those are expressions of your brand strategy if you have one. Right? So you want, your brand strategy is actually the heart and soul of your business, right? It's the heart and soul. It's what's on the inside. So if you think about the logo and the website and da-da-da-da, that's almost the clothes that you are putting on your brand to express yourself, right? To bring it to life in market. But the brand itself is what is in your core, what is in the heart of your business. And sometimes that takes some time to figure out. And sometimes it's easy to figure out. The other thing that the brand strategy is it focuses on your ideal customers. So the purpose of creating it is that you now have some depth to your business, some meaning, whether it's, a purpose-driven brand strategy, or whether you're focusing on a different differentiator, you stand for something, right? It has personality. People understand what you're trying to do and who you are through your brand strategy. So whether you create a brand strategy yourself or you don't, you have a brand. Okay. So your brand could be like a nothing. Like if people don't know who you are, they can't describe you other than the line of business that you're in. So, if you were to ask somebody to describe your business and say you sold soap and you said, describe my business, and they said, you make soap, and that's it. That's all they could tell you. Well, that's your brand. And so you want to define what that is. So today I'm going to talk. Let's see what people have said for what is a brand. Let's take a look. So Catherine says, describing your ideal customer as one person that you can talk to makes everything else easier. Absolutely. That's your buyer persona, right? It's identifying that customer and researching them and stuff. And I think we talked about that maybe 2 weeks ago on this show. So if you missed that one, you should definitely catch it. Understanding your ideal customer, what you need to know about them. And then Lisa says, oh, let's see here. Lisa says, it's figuring out your purpose and who your ideal customers are, and how you can help them. Absolutely. That's all part of your brand strategy. It's that perception that you want people to have of your business. And it's the litmus test that will help you make decisions. Okay. So while I was at the orthodontist today, because I was running so late, I actually took some notes, and I have identified 5 reasons to build a strong brand if you are a small business. So anybody who's watching, before I get into the 5 reasons, if you know of a reason why a small business would want to create a brand, throw it in the comments and we'll see if it's actually one that I had on my list. So I only listed 5. There's probably, hundreds of really good reasons to build a brand for a small business. Small businesses need brands. Big businesses need brands. If you're selling something, you want people to have a positive perception of who you are, what you're doing, what you're selling. So that's what building the brand's all about. Okay. So if you are watching and you have an idea as to why it's so important for small business specifically, throw it in the comments. So yeah, Lisa says to build trust. Absolutely. Absolutely. You build trust. People understand who you are. That builds trust. And talking about things that your ideal customer cares about, that builds trust, letting them in. Okay. So let's get started here. Okay. So the first one I have, why small businesses should create a brand strategy. So not just a logo, but actually figure out the heart and soul of their business, is that it's ease. Small businesses need things to be a little bit easy, right? Like you are, and I am, like we're all small businesses here, or not all of us, but I'm a small business. And if you're a small business too, you know that you've got so many hats going on, right? So having something that makes something that you have to do a little bit easier is a really good thing. So how does having a brand strategy make your life easier? Well, it gives you the criteria for decision making. So when you go in and create your brand strategy, you're also talking about the core values of your brand, and that becomes your decision making criteria. So it's a lot easier to make decisions. It's a lot easier. Like if we're talking about execution and social media, if you have a brand strategy that has depth and meaning, you don't have to go out on social media and just say, this is what I sell, this is what I sell, this is what I sell, do you want to buy it? You actually have other things to talk about that your ideal customer cares about to help create that trust and connection, and stay within the brand framework. So it's easier because it gives you a framework to stay within. It gives you like the outline, and you just need to color in the picture. And if you can stay within that, you'll start to create some consistency in the market, and it makes marketing easier. Understanding your customers makes it easier. Understanding what they love about your business, how you're different from the competition, all of that great stuff that falls within a brand strategy makes it easier for you to sell, to talk about your products, to know if a decision is the right decision. So that's the number one. It is going to make your life easier. Okay. So the second one I have is about the money. Your marketing will be more effective if you have a brand strategy, if you have a single focus for your business, if you're creating something and you know what you're creating instead of just being out there willy-nilly, your marketing dollar is going to go a lot further because your messages are going to resonate more with your ideal customers. You're also going to understand where they are, where they're going, like where they're finding information, how to how to talk to them on different levels of their buyer's journey. And really, what is the key message that you need to put out there, right? So you're going to save money. If you are spending money on advertising now, so say somebody came to you and said, hey, I want you to buy, these pop-up ads, or I want you to buy an ad in this magazine or this journal or online ad or whatever, and you are going to spend money. First of all, you need to know if your ideal customers are there. But secondly, you want your message to be effective. So if you haven't done the pre-work, you might be lucky and you might hit it right on the nail, on the head, but you might not. So your chances of marketing effectiveness go way up when you do the work and when you actually create that strategy. Okay. So more money, right? You're going to save some money. Okay. Here, this one I really love. As entrepreneurs, if you think about why you became an entrepreneur, why did you become a small business owner? I ask this question to my clients. I ask them all the time, especially in the first part of the Strategic Foundation Bootcamp that I do with them, because we're trying to get down to like their purpose. But usually one of the first things that comes off for most people is that they want control. They don't want to have a boss telling them what to do. They want more control. So if you have a brand strategy, you are giving the control to you. So like I said before, whether you create a brand strategy or not, a perception of your business is out there. Do you want your competitors to be the ones talking about your business? Do you want unhappy customers to be shaping the perception of your business? I don't think so. You want to guide that. You want to decide what kind of reputation you're going to have. You want to decide what you stand for. You want that control. So just because you create a brand strategy doesn't mean that nobody's going to say anything bad about you and that some people aren't going to like your business. That's completely unrealistic. But you are controlling the message that is in the market. And with consistent effort, people are starting to understand and recognize that message. And it puts you in the driver's seat instead of just letting things happen. I like control. I'm kind of a control freak. So if you are too, you're going to love having a brand strategy. Okay. So the next reason, this is reason number 4 of why small businesses should have brand strategies. Actually well thought out, researched brand strategies. And it all comes down to raving fans. So when you understand your customers, and you are giving them messages that are going to resonate with them, and you're sharing images that are going to resonate with them, and you're creating connection, like, admire, trust, because you are consistent in the market, because you're following that framework, you're going to build a reputation, right? And that reputation is going to help people to talk about you in the way you want them to talk about you. Right? So if somebody asks you, what's it like? What's Haley like? What's marketing on purpose like? I want them to be able to say something that is within my brand strategy because they've heard it so many times. Hopefully people understand that, I'm all about doing it with you, that we do things together. Hopefully people understand that I'm about creating brands worth loving and that I think that small businesses can matter more because that's all part of my brand, right? But you have to put it out there, and you have to put it out there. But that's how you create raving fans. And nowadays, word of mouth, guys, is number 1. Referrals and recommendations and word of mouth and raving fans. That's what is going to grow your business. If you are a small business, that's the most effective way. I've had, people that I've nurtured through the process on Facebook. I've had people that, I've maybe met a networking event. It is the people who get referred to me that make the decision on the first call. So if somebody says, hey, I think you should work with Haley, then usually as soon as I talk to them, they've already made the decision to work with me before I even open my mouth, even if they haven't seen anything that I've done. But the person who referred me probably has been watching and probably knows me and probably has a perception of my business. So reputation and building raving fans. Really important for all businesses, especially small businesses, because it's effective and it doesn't cost you anything. And then, of course, number 5 is better results. Better results. So if you can do all of those other things, if you control the message a little bit more, if you are appealing to your ideal client, if you have depth and meaning, and if you're out there consistently with the same message, you're creating a perception. You're becoming recognized for certain things that you want to be recognized for. You want your business to be recognized for. That's going to speed up the sales cycle. We like to speed up the sales cycle, right? And it's also going to hopefully kind of repel the people who aren't your ideal customers. So you get better results because you're only the people who really love what you're doing are buying, hopefully. And those that don't and aren't going to have that experience aren't. So all of your testimonials and stuff like that are all going to be positive if you are, or the majority, I guess, right? If you really have a strong brand and you're living by that brand. So it helps you to get better results. And also you get better results because you're spending your money more effectively, you're spending your time more effectively, you have control. So all of those wonderful things are great. So those are sort of the 5 big reasons that I think that small businesses really need to focus on creating a brand strategy and not just on execution, right? It's not just about, I'm going to have an Instagram account or I'm going to like have this event or I have a website. You need to really understand what it is about you that you are going to stand for and be remembered for. And that's what the process of creating a brand strategy does for you. Okay, so as I was doing this, I was thinking about my clients, and this one's for you guys. So once you have your brand strategy created, once it's created, basically, let me see. I wonder if I have one. Here we go. I don't know who this is. You won't be able to read it all. But once you have a brand strategy created, I have a simplified framework that we put it in. So it's like, that's it. It's a one-pager. It's, 8 weeks of, or six weeks of like work, and you come out with a one-pager. But that's so good. And you also come out with a buyer persona. But that's so good because that's your template. That's your framework that you can work within. So when you come out with that, I want to talk about the 3 biggest mistakes that I see people making. And I'll be quick on these because I don't want this to be too long for people. So the first one is that they have a brand strategy. They're excited about it. They've got their one-pager and they don't make any changes. So they're like, I have a great brand. I'm so excited. And then they kind of fall back to doing the things the way they did it before. So there's no sense of having that strategy if you're not going to do anything with it. It's having like a piece of paper doesn't change your business. You have to bring it to life. You have to bring it to life. You have to figure out, what do I need to change in my day-to-day business to make this strategy real? To make sure that, I'm delivering on my brand promise, that I'm living by my brand core values, that my brand personality is shining through. What do I need to do to make that happen? And you need to do it, right? So that's the first one, is that they get a great brand and then they do nothing with it. The work does not end once your strategy is created. That's just the beginning of a really exciting new chapter for you. Okay. Number 2 biggest mistake that I've seen small businesses make with the brand strategy is they think that changing their brand identity is enough. So this one's really important. So part of bringing your brand strategy to life is making sure it's reflected in the personality and tone of all of your communications, right? So your signage, your website, all of those things, once you have your strategy created, are going to have to evolve so that they are very, very effective in pushing forward what you're trying to push forward with your brand strategy, right? But just changing your identity, so changing your colors, changing your logo, changing your website, that is not enough. You have to live and breathe your brand strategy. Just changing your colors, it's not good enough. If you want to change your colors, don't bother spending the work and effort it takes to really understand your brand strategy and what your ideal customers want and what you want to project. If all you're going to do is change your colors and change your logo, because that's not going to do anything for you. If all you do is create beautiful templates and make things more beautiful, that's awesome. You should do that if that's your brand, but that's not going to change your business, right? It's about the message. It's about the heart and soul, and you've got to get that message out there. And then the third thing that small businesses are doing, so they have a brand strategy, if they've done the work, they quit too soon or they stray away from it. A brand strategy is not an evolution. Okay? So let me say that again. A brand strategy is not an evolution. It's not an ever-changing, fluent document. That is not what a brand strategy is. A brand strategy is, I am putting a stake in the ground. This is the space I want to own in the eyes of my ideal customers. This is the perception I'm trying to create. If you keep changing that perception, if you keep moving that stick around and saying, well, today I stand for this, and tomorrow I stand for this, and the next day I stand for this, then you're not going to be consistent enough to actually have people believe what you're saying. It takes time to build. It takes effort to build. And if you only try it for a little while and you're only trying it half-ass, you're not going to get the benefits of it. So hopefully that makes sense. So it's consistency, and it's making that brand strategy the heart of every marketing initiative you take. Also, it needs to be thought about when you're hiring people. It needs to be thought about when you're creating processes for your company and your customer relationships. It needs to be thought about in the execution of your products and product development. Like, this brand strategy should inform pretty much every decision that your company is making. So if you have an amazing brand strategy and nobody in your company is standing behind it, and so they're all going out with different things, that's not going to work, right? So don't abandon it. Once you have it, it is gold to you, but you have to put in the work and you have to put in the effort, and you have to figure out, how are you going to bring it to life? So those are the three things that I think that, some small businesses are missing. So they may create this. If you give it 6 months, it's not enough. If you give it 6 months just changing your identity, brand identity, but not changing your messaging, not enough. If you it's all a package. So hopefully that helps. Thank you so much for watching the Marketing on Purpose show. This one was all about brand strategy for small businesses. If you know of a small business who is interested in creating a brand strategy, if you are a small business interested in creating a brand strategy, I've got some exciting stuff coming up. So, of course, I have my Strategic Foundation Bootcamp, which I've been offering since I started my company in November 2017. I've put, I don't even know, 40 or 50 people through the program, or 40 or 50 companies through that program. And it's awesome. It helps you build your brand strategy with me coaching you every week. We take another step towards building your brand strategy together. And then we build your marketing plan and how you're going to bring that to life. We do all of that together. So there's that program, which is $4,700, but you get me for a year. So that's a really, really good program. That one's going to be launching again in September. I don't have the exact date, but it is launching. So if you want to find out if that program is right for you, please feel free to message me and let's have a conversation, because it may not be right for everyone. I only want my ideal customers going through that program, right? Because I want to create those raving fans. And I also don't want people spending money on things that aren't going to work for them. So we want to make sure that there's a really good fit between you and I before you invest in that. But I've got a second opportunity that is coming up. So this second one is more for the DIY business owners who really are on this really shoestring budget. You have a little bit of marketing chops and you're doing it yourself. So I'm creating a DIY Your Brand Worth Loving course. It is going to have some interaction with me, but you're not getting all that one-on-one time. But I have put a lot of people through this program. I've spent 20 years in marketing, and the majority of that is in brand management, creating brands, creating products, and managing them, bringing them to life in market. And so I'm taking all of that experience, all of those questions that were asked by previous customers, and trying to create a step-by-step process for small businesses to create your own brand. So that course is going to be way less money. I haven't priced it out yet. It's going to be under 500 bucks Canadian. And there's going to be some great sign-up bonuses for the early adopters. But if you want to get on the wait list for that, that one doesn't max out, right? Like, as many people who want to take the course can take the course. But if you want to get on the wait list to be notified when that course comes out in September as well, I'm going to share a link here, and you can be notified that course is coming out. And I think it would be really great. So if you can't work with me one-on-one, you can try it on your own. There's lots of resources online, but really taking the time to create that brand and owning a space in the minds of your consumers is so, so important. So the Strategic Foundation Bootcamp, message me if you have interest in learning more about that. Also, if you're local to the New Brunswick area, there's funding that covers 50% of that. And then, oh yeah, and then if you want to get on the list to be notified about the Brand Worth Loving Bootcamp or Brand Worth Loving course, I'll put the link in. Just give me your email, and I will make sure that you are one of the first to know once that course opens up. I'm pretty excited about that. It's going to be really fun. We're going to have some interactive stuff within in a group, but basically it's a self-paced DIY course. Anyways, thanks so much for listening. Have a wonderful summer day, and I'll catch you next week on the Marketing on Purpose show.